The story of Jean-François Rossignol began in France in September 1943. As a young boy, he was educated in his native city of Lyon by the Jesuit fathers. His father was an engineer and his mother a household wife. His uncle Rossignol was a chest physician, and his grandfather was an abdominal surgeon. Rossignol studied at La Sorbonne at the University of Paris in the 60s and 70s, where he first read chemistry for his Bachelor of Science degree and later carried out research in medicinal chemistry at the Pasteur Institute toward his Ph.D. degree. He graduated from the University of Paris in 1971. In 1972, Dr. Rossignol initiated his medical degree also at the University of Paris, working at the same time in the parasitology laboratory under Professor Raymond Cabier, where he began screening chemical compounds against parasites. In 1973, one of the compounds he had previously synthesized, nitazoxanide, showed a broad spectrum of activity against intestinal protozoa and helminths. Upon the completion of his medical degree, Dr. Rossignol specialized in tropical medicine at the University of Marseille and spent several years in West Africa, first in Mauritania and later in Mali, where he studied and treated parasitic diseases and malaria in the local population. From 1979 to 1987, SmithKline and French Laboratories in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, put him in charge of the global development of their anthelminthic albendazole. It became the first single-dose broad-spectrum anthelmintic effective against 7 helminths, and in 1987, the drug was put on the WHO Essential Drug List. Today, it is used in developing countries around the entire world by approximately 3 billion people each year. From 1975 and 1987, Dr. Rossignol was associated with the Anti-Malarial Development Program at the Walter Reed Army Institute of Research in Washington, D.C., suppliers of new chemical compounds to the research program, including a series of new phenanthrene methanol compounds that he had synthesized. He later developed halofanthrene hydrochloride, which received regulatory approval in the United States as well as in many other countries around the world for the treatment of multi-drug-resistant strains of malaria. In 1993, with the onset of AIDS, Dr. Rossignol discovered that nitazoxanide, the drug that he had synthesized in 1973, was effective against Cryptosporidium parvum, an intestinal parasite, which was killing people with immunosuppression and AIDS. Nitazoxanide received regulatory approvals in many countries around the globe for the treatment of 13 intestinal protozoa and helminths, and finally in the United States, where it received regulatory approval from FDA in 2002. At the turn of the millennium, Dr. Rossignol turned his attention to the treatment of viruses and made significant developments toward the treatments of viral infections, such as those caused by rotavirus in the intestine, chronic hepatitis B and C, and respiratory viral infections, such as influenza A and B, rhinovirus, and coronavirus, including COVID-19. Dr. Rossignol developed 3 anti-parasitic drugs that are used in the treatment of protozoa, helminths, and malaria. In addition, he is currently developing a broad-spectrum antiviral agent, which is in Phase 3 clinical investigation for the treatment of a broad range of viral respiratory infections. He published 116 peer-reviewed papers, co-authored 7 books, and submitted more than 150 abstracts to scientific meetings. He gave 62 guest lectures around the world. The United States Patent and Trademark Office awarded him 43 U.S. patents, and approximately 4,300 international patents were granted by foreign patent offices around the world. Rossignol was elected Fellow of the Royal Society of Chemistry in 2003, Fellow of the Royal College of Pathologists in 2010, Honorary Fellow of the Faculty of Pharmaceutical Medicine of the Royal College of Physicians of the UK in 2010, and Fellow of the Philadelphia College of Physicians in 1986. He received 2 honorary medical degrees in 2004 from the National University of Cajamarca in Peru, and in 2016 from the University of South Florida in the United States. And since 1994, he's been the chairman of the board of directors and the chief medical and science officer of Romark LC in Tampa, Florida. Dr. Rossignol's passion for his work has affected billions of people across the world in the form of life-saving treatments and discoveries. The groundwork he has laid in the medical industry over the past 50 years has pioneered the way forward for generations of medicinal chemists to come. For that, his legacy will forever live in our minds, our hearts, and in the Florida Inventors Hall of Fame.